Out here in the heartland, a tractor isn't just a machine, it's a partner you trust every single day. From frosty mornings to long harvest nights, only the toughest survive. Today, we're counting down the 7 most reliable tractors ever built for everyday farm work, the ones that just keep running year after year. And trust me, the one sitting at number 1 will stay in your memory forever. Number 7, the Case 830 Comfort King. When this orange and white giant rolled out in the early 1960s, it wasn't just another workhorse. It was a statement that hard work didn't have to mean an aching back and stiff knees at the end of the day. The 830 introduced what Case proudly called the Comfort King design, with the operator seat raised higher, giving farmers a clear view across the rows. The steering wheel and controls sat right where your hands wanted them to be. It might sound simple now, but back then, that higher platform changed the way folks worked the fields. Under the hood sat a tough 4-cylinder diesel engine, delivering around 70 horsepower. Nothing fancy, just strong, steady power that got the job done. The Case-O-Matic transmission gave smooth shifting and easy control, letting the farmer go from light to heavy work without grinding gears or losing momentum. You could plow all morning, haul grain all afternoon, and still have power to spare when the sun went down. For everyday farm work, the 830 did it all. It could pull a 4-bottom plow through thick Midwest soil, drag a loaded wagon through muddy fields, or run a baler with that steady diesel rhythm that Case owners loved. Maintenance was simple: filters, belts, and oil. Parts were built heavy, and the cast iron frame could take punishment for decades. Today, you can still find these old 830s running strong on family farms or restored for show. A solid working one can fetch around $4,000 to $8,000, depending on condition. But for many owners, the real value isn't in the price, it's in the memories. Memories of a father teaching his son to shift for the first time, of long harvest days when the Comfort King never once quit, of that unmistakable Case growl echoing across the field at sunrise. The 830 stands as a symbol of an era when tractors were built to last, not for luxury, not for show, but for work, day after day. And even now, when it fires up with that familiar diesel rumble, it feels like shaking hands with an old friend. But don't get too comfortable just yet, because the tractor in the next spot took reliability and simplicity to a whole new level. Number 6, the Massey Ferguson 175. The 175 rolled out in the mid-60s, part of Massey's legendary 100 series. It came at a time when farms were growing larger, and families needed a tractor that could do everything, from plowing and baling to hauling and mowing. Massey answered that call with a machine that was light on fuel, heavy on dependability, and easy to fix when something went wrong. Under its red hood beat a Perkins diesel engine, known far and wide for its smooth, steady pull. Around 60 horsepower, not the biggest, but more than enough for everyday farm work. It started on cold mornings when others wouldn't, and once it was running, that soft, rhythmic hum became the soundtrack of a long day in the field. The hydraulic system was another reason farmers loved it. Strong, responsive, and easy to control, it could lift plows, run loaders, and handle all sorts of implements with quiet confidence. Many owners said it felt alive, reacting to the operator's hands like an old friend who already knew what you needed. And it wasn't just muscle, it was comfort, too. A well-padded seat, good visibility, and that simple Massey layout made it a pleasure to spend hours behind the wheel. For small and mid-sized farms across the Midwest, the 175 quickly became the one tractor that could do it all. Today, decades later, the 175 is still out there, still earning its keep. You'll see them pulling hay wagons, mowing roadsides, or running augers during harvest. Many have logged over 10,000 hours, yet their engines still start with a puff of diesel smoke and a steady idle. On the used market, prices vary. A solid working 175 can be found between $4,000 and $9,000, depending on condition. But to most farmers, that number doesn't mean much, because this tractor already paid for itself 100 times over. It's the kind of machine you pass down, not because it's worth money, but because it's worth remembering. Ask any older farmer about the Massey 175, and you'll see a smile. They'll tell you how it never once let them down, how it pulled through wet springs, dry summers, and long nights under the yard light. For them, it wasn't just a tractor, it was family. But as dependable as it is, the tractor in the next spot took diesel reliability to another level and proved that quiet strength could last a lifetime. Number 5, the Oliver 1655. Built from 1969 through 1975, the 1655 sat right in that sweet spot between raw power and everyday practicality. It was the kind of tractor that didn't shout for attention. It simply went to work, day after day, season after season, and never let its owner down. Under the hood lived a Waukesha 6-cylinder, delivering around 70 horsepower. It wasn't flashy, but it was smooth, quiet, and dependable, one of those engines that just seemed to run forever. Farmers loved how easily it started, even on frosty mornings when the wind came off the plains. The power delivery was steady, never rushed, never strained, just solid, honest torque. The hydraulic system on the 1655 was ahead of its time. Oliver used a closed center design that gave instant response to every lever and lift. It made the tractor feel alive in your hands, perfect for loader work, planting, or running heavier implements. And when you paired that with its power steering and comfortable operator layout, it became a machine you could spend 10 hours on without feeling worn down. For everyday farm work, the 1655 could do almost anything, pulling plows, running balers, or hauling wagons across uneven ground. Its balanced weight gave it sure footing on muddy fields, and the gearbox was strong but easy to manage. Many farmers said it was as dependable as sunrise, and that's about as high a compliment as you can get in farm country. Today, the Oliver 1655 remains a favorite among collectors and working farmers alike. You'll still see them out there, engines purring steady as ever. But for those who grew up driving one, no price tag could measure the feeling of pulling into the field, hearing that diesel hum, and knowing the job would get done. There's a sense of pride that comes with an Oliver. It's the pride of American craftsmanship, of cast iron built thick, bolts tightened by hand, and a name that stood for honest work. Even after all these years, the 1655 carries that same dignity, the kind you can hear in every steady heartbeat of its engine. But don't go anywhere. Because the tractor at number 4 brought big power to small farms and changed what everyday work really meant. Number 4, the Ford 3000. Built between 1965 and 1975, this blue workhorse became the backbone of countless family farms across the Midwest. It wasn't the biggest tractor on the lot, but for most farmers, it was the one that got everything done. The Ford 3000 was part of the famous 1000 series, a new generation that replaced the old N-series workhorses. And right from the start, people could tell Ford had built something special. Its 3-cylinder engine, available in both gas and diesel, was smooth, efficient, and nearly impossible to kill. Around 37 horsepower, but it felt like more, strong enough to pull, light enough to handle with ease. For daily farm chores, the 3000 fit perfectly. It plowed small fields, mowed pastures, ran augers, loaded hay bales, and even towed wagons to market. It started on cold mornings, ran all day on a single tank, and when the work was done, it was easy to clean and park inside the shed, ready for tomorrow. The hydraulic lift system was one of its strongest points, dependable, simple, and powerful enough for almost any attachment. The power steering and synchro transmission made it smooth and comfortable, even for long hours. Many small farms kept one as their main tractor for decades because it was affordable, versatile, and so easy to maintain. Even today, the Ford 3000 is still out there, running like it always did. You'll find them mowing back roads, pulling wagons, or helping with chores on farms that have seen 3 generations grow up. On the used market, a solid working 3000 can still fetch around $4,000 to $8,000, but many owners say they wouldn't sell theirs for twice that. Because this tractor isn't just iron and paint, it's memories. For many, the 3000 was their first real tractor, the one they learned to drive as kids, sitting on the fender while Dad steered through the fields. That little blue machine taught them what hard work looked like and what dependability truly meant. Simple, honest, ready to work every single day. That's the Ford 3000. It may not have the flash of modern tractors, but it carries something far more important: trust. And if you think that's dependable, the machine waiting at number 3 proved that power and comfort could finally ride together. Number 3, the Allis-Chalmers D19. Built between 1961 and 1964, this bright orange beauty was bold, powerful, and ahead of its time. It wasn't just another addition to the Allis D series, it was a leap forward, built for farmers who needed real muscle and modern comfort in one dependable package. The D19 carried one of the first factory turbocharged diesel engines ever offered in a row crop tractor. Back in the early 60s, that was revolutionary. Around 66 to 80 horsepower, depending on the model, and that turbo gave it a steady pull that farmers could feel through the seat. It was strong, smooth, and surprisingly fuel efficient for its size. Whether it was deep plowing, baling hay, or hauling a loaded grain wagon, the D19 did it all without breaking a sweat. But the D19 wasn't only about power, it was also about comfort, something Allis-Chalmers engineers took seriously. The seat sat higher, with a clear, commanding view across the field. Controls were easy to reach, and the power steering made long days behind the wheel a whole lot easier. For many farmers, this was the first time a tractor felt like a true driver's machine. The Allis Power Director clutch system was another fan favorite, letting operators shift from high to low range without stopping the tractor. It made field work smoother, especially when dealing with uneven terrain or heavy loads. Everything about the D19 said efficiency, and for farmers juggling multiple jobs each day, that mattered. When it came to durability, the D19 earned its stripes fast. Its cast-iron frame, sturdy axles, and well-built driveline meant it could handle tough conditions year after year. Many of these tractors are still running today, proving that Allis-Chalmers built them to last, not just for a decade, but for generations. They'll remember that deep orange paint glowing in the morning sun, the whistle of the turbo when the plow dug in, the steady rhythm of the engine that somehow made even the hardest days feel a little easier. That's the sound of reliability, the sound that built trust between a farmer and his machine. And as strong as this orange legend was, the tractor waiting at number 2 took that same diesel dependability and refined it into something truly unforgettable. Number 2, the John Deere 2510. Built between 1965 and 1968, this machine carried the same spirit that made John Deere a household name on American farms: simple, strong, and ready to work every single day. The 2510 was part of the legendary new generation lineup, coming right after the mighty 4020. But while the 4020 was a giant, the 2510 hit a sweet spot, compact enough for everyday chores, yet strong enough for heavy field work. Around 55 horsepower, powered by a 4-cylinder diesel engine, it delivered smooth, steady power that seemed almost effortless. The Synchro-Range transmission made shifting clean and easy, whether you were plowing rows, baling hay, or running a loader. The power steering and hydraulic system were quick and responsive. You could raise or lower implements with precision, something that made long days feel shorter and work feel smoother. For daily use, the 2510 did it all. It could pull a 3-bottom plow through heavy soil, handle a mower or rake with ease, and still be nimble enough for yard work. It was light on fuel, easy to maintain, and built with that unmistakable John Deere sturdiness. Many farmers said it was just the right size, not too big, not too small, and perfectly balanced for everyday farming. And of course, there's that classic Deere sound. That deep, steady diesel rhythm that rolled across the fields every morning. For a lot of folks, that sound meant work was getting done, and everything was right in the world. The 2510 wasn't overloaded with gadgets or electronics, just solid engineering. It used many of the same reliable parts as the larger 4020, which meant repairs were simple and parts were easy to find. That's one big reason why so many of these tractors are still in use today. It's a partner they've trusted for half a lifetime. There's something special about seeing one parked by the barn, paint a little faded, but engine still strong, waiting for the next job. That's the legacy John Deere built, machines that just keep going. Reliable, loyal, and as familiar as the land itself. But hold on tight, because the tractor waiting at number 1 didn't just earn trust, it became the very definition of reliability for American farmers. Number 1, the Farmall 706. Built from 1963 to 1967, this was the tractor that truly defined what reliability means on the farm. Tough, honest, and ready to work sun up to sundown, the 706 didn't just get the job done, it kept on doing it, year after year. The Farmall 706 came from International Harvester's golden era, when engineers still designed machines for farmers who expected to pass them down to their kids. It came with a choice of gas or diesel engines, both built to last. The D282 diesel, in particular, earned a reputation for being nearly indestructible. Around 73 horsepower at the drawbar, with torque that seemed to never quit, perfect for plowing, baling, cultivating, and everything in between. What set the 706 apart was how well it fit into daily life on the farm. It had the power to pull 5 bottom plows, yet was comfortable enough to use all day. The torque amplifier transmission gave it versatility. You could shift under load without losing power, which meant fewer stops and smoother work. Add to that reliable hydraulics, power steering, and easy access for maintenance, and you had a tractor that farmers genuinely enjoyed working with. But the real story of the 706 isn't just numbers or specs, it's the memories. Ask any old-timer in the Midwest, and you'll hear the same thing, that red Farmall was the heartbeat of the farm. It hauled wagons to the elevator, pulled the planter in the spring, and powered the baler every summer. When other machines sat in the shed, the 706 was still out there, its steady hum rolling across the fields. Many owners will tell you that tractor never once left them stranded. Even today, you can still find 700 SIXS running strong, engines that fire right up after 50 years, gearboxes that shift like the day they were new. It's no wonder collectors and working farmers alike still seek them out. The Farmall 706 wasn't flashy, and it wasn't overbuilt. It was simply right. Strong, dependable, and built with a soul, the kind of machine that outlasted its owners and earned its place in history. So when we talk about the most reliable tractor for everyday farm work, it's hard to top the one that did it all, and did it for generations. The Farmall 706, a true legend of the land, and the tractor that still reminds us why we fell in love with farming in the first place. Every tractor on this list has a story of long days, cold mornings, and harvests that couldn't wait. Maybe you grew up driving one of these, or maybe there's still one sitting in your barn, ready to start another season. Tell us in the comments, which tractor has earned your trust over the years? And if you enjoyed this ride down memory lane, hit that like button, subscribe, and keep your engines running. Because on this channel, we keep the classics working.